Good afternoon. So I'm here with another pistol I got from Pellets along with the Sparrow, and this is the Sig Sauer P226. Been umming and ahhing getting one of these for a while, but some people say they don't shoot very straight, and this one doesn't. But I think I have a little solution for that. That's all the information on the back. It tells you about the weight, barrel length, and that sort of thing. So it's quite a hefty pistol at 2.4 pounds. Okay, not sure whether the FPS figures are 380. That's must be a very light pellet. Okay, the manual, yeah, pretty basic. It tells you everything you need to know. Okay, so what it doesn't tell you about the front screw for the actual nil nut for the actual silencer, but we'll go through that. Yeah. The magazine, it's a bit like a Gammo. It's double-ended 8-shot rotary. They rotate one way, so they rotate clockwise. Yeah, like that. Don't forget, and you just pop your pellet in there and rotate it. Yeah, I use H&H in this because I've tested the Superfields 4.51 head and the 4.52 H&M Barracudas. Barracudas seem to suit it better. Also suit the barrel better because I find that Sig barrels aren't particularly great quality rifled, unlike the Umrexes. So you tend to find that if you've got a poorly rifled barrel, as in quality wise, and also if you've got a smooth bore, you want a bigger head. I use a bigger head size because they tend to grip the barrel better and get better performance, and they shoot straight as well. So yeah, that's the magazine, very straightforward, just goes in the bottom of here. So going on to the pistol, so this is it. It's a heavy metal blowback, blows back quite a way. Okay, the safety's on this side. Notice it's actually on. If I flick it up, so if it's on, yeah, the trigger will move, but it won't fire any CO2. There is no CO2 in this at the moment. If you flick it up, yeah, the safety's off, and it'll fire the CO2. If you cock it, yeah, with the safety on, it won't cock the hammer. It only cocks it when the safety's turned off. And what you can do as well is that you can put the safety on, but you can also put it to that, and then you can flick it down again, and it'll decock the actual hammer for you, which is really nice. Sight-wise, yeah, they're fixed front and back. They're white dots. Pretty decent sight picture. Yeah, I think the foresight could do with being a little bit wider and with a larger white dot, to be fair. The actual finish is really nice, to be fair. It's really a hefty piece of kit, as I said in the rail. You've got a rail there, but I bought a lathe to fit, and I couldn't fit it on because of this curl bit here. So I've actually got a rise. I'm going to get a rise and bring it down a little bit so it'll fit. That actually interferes with the actual fitment of the laser. Not a big issue really. So yeah, that's the actual safety. All these other bits are fake. They don't operate. Just the actual safety and decocker. Trigger is really nice. Trigger pull. Now the first bit of the pull, which is this bit here, yeah, is 2.5 pounds. There's a little bit of creep. Yeah, in fact there's actually a fair bit of creep, to be fair, and then it does fire there, and that's only 5.5 pounds. So it's got a nice trigger actually, and even with the magazine in, obviously like so, and obviously that first pull rotates it. Hear that click? That's the magazine being rotated to put the pellet in position, and then it fires. Okay. And it rotates really, really smoothly. So all the mechanical side of this, the way it shoots, the way it rotates, is really, really nice. It's just that I think really Sig need to improve the quality of their barrels. If they brought them up to the standard of the Umrex barrels, rifle barrels, then this would probably shoot better. Also, there's always a little bit of play. You can see the play in the actual movement sideways, see? So the actual tolerance of the top slide, obviously, isn't great. And also that makes the barrel move as well, which also affects the accuracy. Okay, so you're never going to get the same sort of group out of this as you get out of an Umrex 8-shot rotary, or even a target pistol like Sparrow, because of the fact that there's always a little bit of. So don't forget, that's only about probably 1 millimetre or 2 millimetres, but that extensions what's the word? Extends itself the further out you go. So at 10 yards, that will open up to like 1 inch, and it'll open up even further the further out you shoot. So this will be interesting how this will shoot further out. Okay? So apart from that, if they could just tighten up this tolerance, yeah, and make sure that this barrel doesn't move, because there is movement in this barrel which really shouldn't happen, because it should be anchored in the back of the actual block. So their tolerance with the barrel going in the block isn't very good. So come on lads, get a grip. Because when you build these things, improve the tolerance, because if you can stop that moving, yeah, don't worry so much about this, because that just affects the sights, yeah. But if this barrel moves as well, then that's going to affect the accuracy as well. So you could have the greatest rifle barrel in the world inside, but it ain't going to be accurate if the barrel's moving around. Okay, little thing that really they need to tighten up on Sig. Yeah. So apart from that, and the actual trigger's really nice. Yeah, shoots well. You'll get I've got about 4 magazines. That's four 16s out of it before the CO2 completely dropped off. In fact, to be safe, it was 3 and 3.5. Yeah, then the CO2 dropped off. Fit the CO2. Great idea. Works really well. Got a little latch here. Pull it down. It opens the back, and you'll see as I lift the thing, that camber goes up. So you put your bit of Pelvin oil on your CO2, pop it in there, make sure it goes and sits in the valve. Yeah, so it sits like that. And then as you push this up, it pushes it up and it pierces it and it locks. Really good system. Really good system. It does say in the manual, by the way, make sure you completely empty the CO2 before you unlatch it and open it, otherwise you could damage the valve when you blow it out. So what I do, I put an empty magazine in there and I dry fire it until the CO2, you can dry fire CO2s, dry fire it till it stops pumping out CO2 out the barrel, and then you can unlatch that and just gently, and what you want to do, you'll get to that point there, and then just gently release it, just because of any residue CO2 in the actual canister, CO2 canister. Okay, capsule. Okay, so that's how you put the CO2 in and release it. Okay, so yeah, then we go on to the silencer. Now, it's a threaded right-hand thread, so you just unscrew it as normal. You'll see I've actually put a seal on this as well, and I'll explain why in a minute. So it's not a standard of the UNF, half-inch UNF, but what you can get is these adapters. Now these are, if we get a focus on it, a company called Guntuff. In UK, JS Ramsbottom sell these, and it's a 12mm to half-inch UNF adapter, it tells you on there. So what you can do is you can fit it onto there, or you can fit this onto the moderator you're going to be using. Yeah, screw it on like that, and the rubber seal will stop it vibrating loose, because obviously as it's blowing back they can vibrate and come loose, which does happen. And then you can just fit your moderator, which is a standard UNF, half-inch UNF. And I picked this one. This is a Reximex Silent Force because it's very thin, and because of that you can just do this up to the seal stops rotating. Okay, and you can see the foresight just above the moderator, so you can still aim it with the fixed sights, which is really nice. So if your moderator is really round, a much larger diameter, you won't be able to see past the moderator to take the aim. Okay, so that's pretty good. So that's what that's for. So you could just literally, if you're going to use just one moderator all the time, just leave your adapter attached to the moderator like this. Okay, and then just take it off when you want to put it away. Okay, so that's what I've done. So that's a 12mm to half-inch UNF thread. You can get it from UK, company called JS Ramsbottom, very good, I use them a lot. And they do lots of different types of adapters for different pistols as well, you know, CP, CP2s, what else, all they do adapters for the CP99, Remex pistols, all that sort of thing. Okay, so that's the thing. So how did it perform? So I put it through the chronograph, I used Superfields and also the Barracuda 8s, and that's the results. So there we go. See the data in the corner as well, a little bit of data picked up. So I didn't look at the data, the 2 pellets. The Superfields, which have the smaller head size, had a spread of 22 over 8 shots and did 2.15 foot-pounds energy with 342 FPS. So you think, the heavier Barracudas, which are 8.44, would actually be slower? They weren't, they were quicker. They did 352 FPS. So they were 10 FPS quicker, even though they're a heavier pellet. So obviously they produce more energy. They produce an extra 0.2 foot-pound energy over the actual Superfields. And I think that's purely down to the fact that it's got a larger head size and it sits in the barrel better, which means the CO2 seal pushes the pellet better down the barrel. And the actual spread was only 9 FPS over 8 shots compared to 22 with the Superfields. So having that larger head size, I'm pretty sure with this particular type of barrel, that the SIGs use, makes a big difference. Okay, yeah, weight wise from the weight that's on the box anyhow. Right, so there's the interesting bit. So we were talking about it not shooting straight. Here we go. So I did when I do an unboxing review, I do chronograph, and then I do a rested 8-yard shot, and then I do a freestanding 8-yard shot. Now, I tried it initially, obviously without the moderator, right? Because I just bought the mod. So with no mod fitted, aiming at the very top of there. This is the semi-rested shots, right? Okay, 8 shots semi-rested. Aiming at the top, yeah. Rest of the bag, all the pellets went down here, and I thought, that's pretty bad. Yeah. So I fitted the moderator. Okay. This is again same position, semi-rested, one after the other. This time I aimed just above the black circle there, and they all grouped round here, bar that one there, which I probably pulled. Okay, so they're grouped there. So the distance between that and that is what, about an inch? Probably inch and a quarter, inch and a half, yeah. Well, the difference between that and that is huge. It's actually like massive. Well, these are like 14 centimetre square, so that's a big drop. Okay, so I thought, that's interesting. So I went back and I thought, I'll try some freestanding 8-shot with no moderator fitted, because I thought, maybe it's bouncing off the bag, because obviously it's resting on the bag. It's got quite a good kick as well, this, by the way, because it's a full metal slide, so it's quite heavy. That's why you only get about 60 shots, something like that. And again, aim point right at the very top where the cross is, and they were down here again. I thought, good grief, it can't be that bad, surely. And then I thought, I'll put the mod on, see how we do this time. Again, this time I compensated a little bit, because obviously that group there was shooting to the right, okay, at the top of the circle. So I aimed slightly to the left at the top of the circle, like that, and they grouped all around, 6 groups inside there. The other 2 I probably moved, but that was freestanding, by the way. Okay, so that's pretty good. So what does that tell me? That tells me that this pistol, and maybe all the other Sig P226s that shoot like that, need to fit a mod on. And for some reason, the mod does something, I don't know what it does. Maybe it affects the way it comes out the barrel. It must be when it clears the barrel. Yeah, either the air inside the moderator stabilises it. I don't know, but it definitely makes it shoot completely different. Yeah, and that's a fact. I've just proved it. Okay, don't ask me why. I've got a feeling it's probably something to do with the fact that as it it could be the CO2 as the pellet exits the barrel, it goes into through the mod, and the CO2 is dissipated, or maybe it just shields the actual the airflow. I've no idea, but it makes a big difference. So yeah, what I'd recommend if you've got a P226 is get yourself, like I said, one of these adapters. Yeah, and they're only cheap. They're not very expensive. I think they're either 5 or 8 quid, something like that, from Gun Tough. Yeah, but like I said, put a seal on there as well. It stops it vibrating loose, same as the end of there. Put a seal underneath it. It stops it vibrating loose, so it keeps it tight. And you'll find that the accuracy may well improve. If you use a decent quality pellet, use a 4.52mm head, then you'll almost certainly get a decent seal down the barrel, and you'd find these sort of things. And I think now I've learnt that from the P226, I think the M17 and the P320, I'll have to try that with these other pellets and see if they shoot better with the other pellets, because I never tried the Barracudas with them, if I'm right. I used to use 4.52mm super fields. So there you go. So that is what my that's the mag release, by the way, just to release the double-in mag. So that's my view on the actual P226. Obviously from now on I shall be shooting it with its moderator fitted, and I will try and fit a laser, and then we'll see if we can get it shooting at targets out to, well, we've got the energy. It's got the what did I say it was, 2.3, 2.5. I'm trying the data. Right, here we go, data wise. Yeah, it was doing 2.32 foot-pounds energy. So it's got enough grunt, I think. So we should be able to hit things at least 15, maybe even 20. It all depends on the accuracy. Like I said, you've got this movement, not great. You know, that barrel movement is not good. But if you can get it zeroed pretty tight with a laser, then I think we might be able to get hits out to 20 meters. We'll see. No wind. But But yeah, it's a blinker. Yeah, it's a blinker. It's for hitting tin cans, and I think you could hit tin cans at 10 yards no problem, because I've tried it with the moderator fitted. Yeah, you just need to aim slightly above the can and slightly to the left, like I did with the final target, and it'll shoot blah 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 every time. Okay, so yeah, it's all right. Nice replica. It's just that the way they've actually put this together, I wouldn't say is great. They're quite expensive as well. Normally, I mean, this was on a special offer, but normally these used to be quite expensive. But they're well made. It's just that they've not been put together great. Like, it's almost like, we've got all the nice bits. We'll just shove the barrel in. Now, if they made the barrel a tighter tolerance into the mount, where it must pin in or screw in somehow into the actual main block, and all you want that is to be tight. So it's not doing that. If it's not doing that, the slide will go backwards and forwards along the barrel will be fixed. The only variation you'll have will be the sights, which, let's face it, you've got a foresight that's got some air either side of the rear, so it could be down to you, that little bit of movement compared to that, but you've got the whole barrel is moving as well. You know, it'd be great if you could field strip it and then find some way of actually tightening the barrel up. The M17, interestingly, which you can actually take field strip and take apart and unlock the barrel, does actually lock into a block, and it locks quite nicely tight as well. So the M17 doesn't suffer with that. Okay, so there you go. That's my view on this. Just decock this. Use a decocker, I say. So yeah, that's my view on this. I quite like it, and I'm going to enjoy shooting it, and I shall obviously do my best to compensate for its little quirks. But yeah, it's a shame that Sig can't sort of tighten up these tolerances, yeah, and get this barrel. It's weird. I mean, they can tighten up that as well. They can tighten up the tolerance on the actual slide as well. Really, they can tighten it all up. You know, it might just a few thousandths of a millimetre, would make the difference, or inches, because obviously American and inches, when it imperial. Okay, so there you go. I'll just show you over this again. Really nice branding, nice quality metal, nice trigger. Nice trigger pull, nice and consistent. Yeah, it's really nice. So the only thing is the barrel isn't as tight as it should be, and it is shooting basically without a moderator. Well, all over the place really. It ain't just me as well. I'm not that terrible at a shot that I can't group at 10 yards. But yeah, there you go. So I hope you like the little video. We'll look forward to this outdoor shooting review with this one. I might wait till the laser arrives and we'll see if we can zero laser in and see if we can do it without the laser or with the laser. Okay? So have a great weekend and thanks for watching. And sorry it's such a long, laborious video. Are you all awake still? Take care.